How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to live stream with the Fantasy Frontline. Got a special guest in today from the Get Right Fantasy Network. How's it going, Mike?
Good. What up? What up? What up, everybody? We are here today. It is Saturday, a great day. I'm excited to be here, AJ.
I'm excited to be here too. We got a slew of really, we got a couple big games and then couple sleepy games here and there. Figuring a lot of teams are going to be covering machines this weekend. See a lot of underdogs taking control this weekend. Not winning, but covering. That's
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
gonna be
key. That's the key.
that's gonna be it this week. I mean, there's a lot of, from what I'm looking at right here, decent over unders that are staying above 30, which is nice. So we should have a good week.
Yeah, for everybody that tunes in, we're just gonna go through the games, give our opinions about who we think we should start and sit, and who's gonna go, and drop your start and sit questions, and we'll get to all of them.
Nice. And what up, Tony Clark? I gotta ask. I gotta hold up for 1 sec. Tony Clark, I know that you had a couple of games last week that you put some big money on some parlays, and the biggest one I remember was the Christian Kirk. I'm assuming you took a huge hit last week with all your bets because you put everything on the Jags, and that was tough.
Yikes!
How'd you end up there? Well, tell us while we move. But
Don't-
I'm curious how that ended up.
What up, Anthony? The other half
What
of the
up, Rasta? How you
The
doing,
Get Right
brother?
Fantasy Network, and then while we're there, it'd be a good point to have Mike plug up all the good underdog stuff
Oh,
and trophy smack stuff.
yeah.
Give everybody that good insight.
So we got our our sponsors over at Trophy Smack. Take your league to the next level with a belt, a ring, a chain, or several different types of trophies. Browse the different items that you have. Use the link that's in our description on our channel. Make sure you guys use that. And use the promo code Get Right at checkout, and there will be a discount for you. When you use that. Also, make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy as well. Use our promo code Get Right again, and they'll match your first deposit. Anything you put in up to $100. And basically, there's everything going on right now. There's picking with some insurance. You got over unders, rivalry picks. They'll score anything that you want to do. They already wrapped up their resurrection best ball, so that's all done. So now you guys can go into and do the pick'ems and all different types of stuff that they have in there. Not just football, they got hockey, they got soccer, golf, they have all types of stuff in there. So check them out. Use promo code Get Right, and they'll match your first deposit. Yeah.
Yes, sir. What he said, make sure you use all the get right goodies that he got going on for
Yes.
y'all. You make sure to use the code and they'll
Oh,
get you right.
it's fan. Oh, for sure, and it's fun to use. It really is. It's a great
Yeah.
site. Really enjoy everything that I've gotten to do there. So, oh, really? They're not letting you get DraftKings. Try Underdog, Marty. Try Underdog.
Yeah. Try underdog, try price pick. If
Uh
if time permits, we're gonna get into a little bit of over and unders to get maybe some sneaky money plays in there.
Underdog. I remember Underdog put out a thing the other day. Who they cover? They have a certain coverage that they can use. So what did he do?
Oh no, he said
Okay.
this
So
week
he's
is
in on
Seahawks.
this week. Okay.
He said this week is Seahawks Cardinals over 50.5.
Okay.
Seahawks +3, Gino Smith over 231, Benjamin over 65.5, Walker over 62.5.
Okay.
40 grand invested this week.
Oof. He
Oof.
did 30 last week, man. I told him if he ever wants to
All
give me
in,
money.
it's money I'm not playing with. Hope to be one day.
That's the hope. I'm not all of it's because Marty, double check it just because.
Yeah, because in Texas, it's illegal. Like DraftKings and FanDuel is illegal, but you can still like underdog. If as long as it's fantasy, you can still do like the
Agreed.
over and under and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's because of the concept that it is considered a game, not gambling. They basically it's a way to they did some loophole that it's strategic. Oh no, that's what it is. Strategic betting, I guess, or something like that. It's not considered this. I have to double check. I know that there's a link somewhere out there that shows their coverage, and it shows like where they can and can't. And they have like 40 states already. So I'm surprised.
He said, "Yeah, honestly, I got student loans. Who wants to make a dono?" I said, "Hey,
Yeah.
go apply." They just opened
Yeah. So a little
the
background
phone
on Tony.
forgiveness.
Little background on Tony Clark for those who don't know. He finished, if memory served me, I think he finished third in if Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but he finished third in World Series of Poker. So he's been up there. He won the
Yeesh.
yeah, I think he won the
Kudos to
1
him.
point something million. He won a good amount of money out of it. So good for you, Tony. We always love having Tony here. I love his insight and what he looks for. But I like those bets this week. The over. You want to know something funny for that game, for that Seattle game? I'm thinking that's going to be the under. And the only reason why I keep saying that, they did the exact same thing with the Jags against the Texans, and everybody bet the over, and they barely scored anything in that game. So I don't know. I'm feeling the under in this one, but I don't know. Gino's been out of control, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
Hey, Gino's been a bright spot. But anyways, let's
Yeah,
get
let's
started
get
with
into
the
that.
first. Let's get started with our first matchup. We're gonna roll with San Francisco and Atlanta. The over under is 44.5, and San Francisco's favored by 5.5. And yeah, who before I don't really like getting into like every single player starter sit because
No, it's fine. Only
no,
guys that
but
we
like
know that we're gonna start.
who we'll start with the San Francisco side. Who do you think in San Francisco's really startable this week against an Atlanta defense that's been up and
Beatable.
down, but it also been steady when they get into the second half of the games? It
For
kind of seems like.
for me, the two guys that I'm really looking for in this particular game are I like Brandon Ayuk in this game. He's been a steady starter recently. He's a solid, wide receiver, 3 basically. You know, he's had, I got to look at the numbers again, but I think it's like 5 catches and at least 60 yards in every game or something like that. So for me, I like Brandon Ayuk in this game. I think there's a ton of upside for him to do well and go into that wide receiver 2 or, low end 1. And Jeff Wilson, I mean, his production recently, I mean, he's getting volume consistently, and I am really happy with what he's been doing. The only thing that I'm a little bit hesitant about is because Travis Davis Price came back from the IR. He was active, and he's not on the injury report. He practiced in full. So he's the only guy that I'm a little bit nervous to kind of take a carry or 2 away, but I don't think it's anything,
Well,
outstanding. And
what about
Trevin
Tevin
Coleman.
Cole? Yeah, what
He,
about Tevin Coleman? He had a couple carries last week, a couple
yeah.
catches, 2 touchdowns. I mean, I have him stashed in a couple places just in case any of the backs
He
go down.
To me, Tevin
But
Coleman is a side. He's a
he's
footnote.
a panic play. He's a panic play this week.
He's a panic play in like an 18-team league that you need a guy, but I'm not really looking to play him in any shape, way, or form. I mean, me and Ann are in that situation in our podcast league where we're in a situation where we have like no one. We're starting Michael Carter and DJ Dallas this week as our top 2 running backs because Jamal Williams and Derrick Henry are out on bye. So for us, we picked up other guys that we thought would do well. I'm not playing Kyle Pitts until further notice. I'm one. I have been one to tell you to sit him.
Now we get to Atlanta.
Oh well, I'm just moving right into it. Like Kittle, you can play if you want to, but we haven't seen much yet. Kyle Pitts, man, he's not someone I'm playing. Not someone I'm playing at all. I don't even like Algier in this game. I don't like anybody on the Atlanta Falcons this game because San Francisco is probably one of the top defenses in this league. So I'm really not touching anybody from Atlanta.
So we got our first question here from Anthony. It says, Gino or Kyler?
Ooh, that's a good question. I do like Kyler's matchup. Did Call of Duty come out today? Was it today or yesterday?
It was one of these days.
It was one of the last 2 days. See, that's where I'm like stuck on it because I actually saw the stats, and it's actually crazy how it declines. You know what? I'm not against playing Kyle Murray in this one. I think Kyle has a really good matchup against the Seattle Seahawks.
I know Gino's been good, but I think you have to go with Kyler. The way the Seahawks defense has been looking.
Yeah, I think defensively, if you're looking at those both teams, both defenses facing each other, I'm going Kyler. Oh, and you're going rest. Oh, sorry, that's rest of season.
Ooh.
Actually, I kind of my brain went off of that. I'm gonna go Gino rest of season. Actually, I like Gino.
I like it,
I like his.
even with Hopkins coming back.
Yeah, I like Gino.
I like it.
Yeah.
There's another question here that we got. Zachary Hughes said, "Should I drop Garrett Wilson for Alec Pierce?"
Oh, what's going on, Zachary? How you doing, man? Should I drop Garrett Wilson for Alec Pierce? I personally don't like Garrett Wilson. I don't like his scenario over in New York. He is the lead guy. You know, they haven't really been throwing to Elijah Moore recently. Alec Pierce has seen an uptick in passes. I think Garrett Wilson's probably the best option right now, just because that line in Indy is scaring me. I love Quentin Nelson. I love John. I like John Kelly a lot, but unfortunately, the problem, they don't have anyone else around them, so they don't really have a lot of time to pass the ball. I think Zach Wilson's been doing okay so far. I mean, I do like Alec Pierce's skill set. I think he's been doing better as a possession guy. So
Yeah, he's been
actually,
like a security blanket for Matt Ryan almost kind of
yes.
the past couple weeks.
And they don't. Their tight ends are good. I don't mind Mo Alley Cox and stuff like that. He always likes the bigger receiver. For me, I think Alec Pierce might be a better option long term. So for me, I would drop Garrett Wilson. I just don't. I'm not a fan. They have three guys there that can compete. Indy doesn't really have anybody, and Alec Pierce stepped up. He has draft capital just like Garrett Wilson does, even though he was picked in the second round. So for me, I feel better about Pierce. But Garrett Wilson could ball out. He really could. That's a tough conundrum. I really, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you. I think Alec, you should, even for this week and long term, Alec Pierce is the play. I really think that
yeah,
Matt Ryan, that's really the one that he's established a connection with almost.
yeah,
And yeah, I just like him more rest of season.
yeah,
And Tony Clark said, anyone not subscribed, you should subscribe. They are giving away a Gabe Davis jersey at 600 subs. Yeah, make
yeah,
sure everybody subscribes if you're not already to the Get Right Fantasy Network. They're giving away a Gabe Davis jersey, like you said, at 600 subs. And then while you're at it, subscribe to the Fantasy Frontline.
yeah. Of course.
Trying to
Make sure you guys
trying to get
always
our
like and
first 100
subscribe.
subs
Oh, of course. You guys definitely need
on
to,
the road.
get in and
Get
sub
a
to
little
these
up there.
guys. Yeah, and we're getting up there. We have, I think, 23 left or 21 left till we get to to 600. So make sure you guys check us out on our channel. Make sure you guys, of course, are following these guys as well. Tim and AJ do a wonderful job over here. That's why we love having them a part of our team. So definitely check them out. So Anthony goes, rest of the season, not this week. Classic. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, Kyler's not a horrible option, but the Call of Duty stat is weird. You see his
Yeah,
number go down.
it's eye opening.
So I'm on board. Like, I understand that Hopkins coming back will make him better. But they've been actually peppering Marquise Brown a lot, and I'm not against what he's been doing, but I think that Gino has just been out of this world for the last 6 weeks. Can't stay on the high, like he's been doing great.
Gino's made me want DK in a couple weeks. I bought DK
Yeah.
low in a couple places and feel pretty good about it. It's been
Our
almost a
listener
floor type
league,
of guy.
our listener league, man, I picked up DK as my wide receiver 1, and he's been steady Eddie the whole time. So
I was
like
gonna
it.
okay. Last thing before we get into the next matchup, Drake London startable this week.
It's hard to start him, man. I want to start. I have to start him in a few leagues. At this point, you might have to. A lot of people are in that scenario, but San Francisco 7th best or 8th best against the wide receiver. I can't. I can't suggest people to start him over a bunch of people. Like, I have him ranked, I think, in the 30s, if not lower. So I don't know if he's I have him at wide receiver 30 right now. So I don't know if I would, play him over a lot of different guys. So yeah.
I sold DK for Debo. What do you guys think? I mean,
Oh,
that's a
good
pretty
for
good trade.
you. Good for
That's an
you. I
amazing
wish I
trade.
could have. I wish someone would take
Why
that
can't these
trade.
trades fall into my lap as well?
Yeah, right. I love that. Oh, we're getting a little bit of news, which is nice.
Next matchup that we're going to get into is one that we're not really talking about that much, and it's New England at Cleveland. I feel like this is going to be more of a defensive fair because it's more than likely going to be Zappy behind center. I wouldn't think either of us would deem either of the quarterbacks startable. But the running backs, You guys are starting Brissett in the
I
single
wouldn't
QB
not.
league?
I think Brissett has been doing very well considering
He's
his
been doing good.
situation. Actually, it was kind of funny. So, fun story in our listener league. I faced our friend. Um, I faced my opponent. I'm just going to leave it at that. I won't say who. But in my league, I gave him carte blanche to do whatever he wanted, set my lineup the way he wanted to. He took out Lamar Jackson, put in Jacoby Brissett, and Brissett actually put up more points than Lamar Jackson. So for me,
No, yeah,
that worked
Brissett's
out.
Brissett's a play, but I don't think he's going to be a good play this week against the Patriots. Is where I'm at.
Eh,
I think Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb have fairly decent games,
okay. No, I don't.
and Njoku can have a good game too. But
Njoku
I'm not
does
really.
pretty well in general, but I mean the Patriots are, what are they? I just saw them 2 seconds ago. Patriots are 20th against the QB. That's not great, not perfect. So I'm not against playing them. Like I think Brissett is a good QB2 option if you're in a two QB league. I'm not starting him in one, of course, but in a
Yeah.
two QB league,
Yeah, in a
I don't.
TQB league, I think I'm starting them in one or two places, so definitely not against that.
Yeah,
But
for
how do you
sure.
feel about the wide receivers in this game? That's pretty much my biggest question. Myers, Cooper,
I think Cooper and
Peoples Jones. Who do you think has the most productive game?
I think in this case, it probably will be Jacoby Myers. I mean, he's the possession guy. He's been doing good, even with Zappy behind center. DeAndre Parker just disappeared. I don't understand it. I really don't. Um, Amari Cooper, I don't mind either. I think Josh Johnson, or Josh Jones, I think number 13, whatever number 13 is for their team, secondary for the Patriots, he's out this week, and that's
Uh-huh.
going to take a big hit to their secondary. So for me, I'm okay with playing, Amari Cooper or Peoples Jones this week. I think either one could be fine. I just picked up Peoples Jones in our podcast league. Just we needed a wide receiver and he's best available. So for me, I don't mind Peoples Jones in this matchup. Of course, you're not going to not play. You're playing Hunt. You're playing, Chubb. I think
Yeah.
those two are
I think that's a pretty good DFS play right there, Peoples Jones. If you're looking for somebody that's
someone
cheap
deeper.
this weekend,
Yeah. I would. I mean, I can give you a handful of value picks that I literally have set like 10 lineups this week so far, and I do this on my show on Sunday morning with going through value picks, but one of them I thought would be Ramondre Stevenson, and unfortunately, he's not. Everyone is taking control of this particular scenario. Put him up high. If you want to play somebody this week, I think he is probably one of the best options. If you have him, I think zero RB people are really happy.
with
Cleveland
the
is,
Ramondre, yeah, for sure.
oh, for sure, and they're Cleveland is 30th ranked against the running
Yeah,
back. So
he's gonna do good this weekend.
yeah, for sure.
That's an ultimate start.
Yeah.
And then we're looking here in the comments. Have Tony Clark saying I have 6 players on bye this week in my league that I've actually been trying to win full PPRs. Starting Herbert, Benjamin, James Robinson, Jefferson, Waddle, Taysom Hill, and Amari Cooper,
Or Schultz.
or Schultz in the flex.
Okay, so you're trying to figure out who to play in the flex. I mean, you got to play Benjamin. I mean, Benjamin's probably the best choice out of that whole thing. I mean, well, unless that's.
I mean Jefferson.
Wait, I'm confused here.
Yeah, I'm a little confused too.
Tony. So he's okay. He goes down below and says Amari and Schultz at flex is what I'm asking. Okay, so Amari Cooper, I'd probably go over Schultz at this point.
Yeah, I'm taking Cooper over Schultz. Schultz doesn't look like Schultz with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's very sad. I have him everywhere. I have Dalton Schultz literally everywhere. So
Yeah, I've Dalton Schultz in a couple places, and just been stashing him because I don't want to let him go, and then that comes back and he pops off. But that's a tale for when more down the road. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
And then I packaged him with Pierce for Swift also. Owner was 1-3 and lost faith in them already.
Nice. Okay.
Yikes. Yeah, that's definitely a good trade.
No, it's great. I mean, I wish people made those trades with me, but no one will.
We got Tim in the comments giving that insight. Said he's taking
Yeah,
Cooper at home.
I agree.
Keep doing your thing, Tim.
Side note, just for those who might be listening that want to know some inside info, it looks like Zay Jones, he's questionable to play tomorrow. It looks like they are optimistic about him playing, as well as Alexander Madison. He was listed as questionable. They expect him to play as well, both by Jeremy Fowler. Sorry, I get literally updates.
No, yeah, I'm getting
Consistently.
them. I'm getting them too, and just letting you do your thing because I know you're the injury guy, and I
Yeah,
respect
that
it.
too.
Let's get into this next matchup that I'm super super excited about. The Jets going into Lambeau. Lambeau's favored by 7. I think that's. I know they're at home, but I think Jets cover that if anybody wants to put some money on that.
Okay.
And yeah, the over under is 45.5. Rodgers is playing with a little sore thumb.
It'll be fine.
Um, so who do you see having that big type of game, and then who do you see in this Packers receiving core stepping up and having that Randall Cobb type of game like he did
Yeah.
last week?
Yeah, I mean, Lazard might have a decent game today. I mean, Dobbs has been doing well as well. I mean, we've been seeing what Aaron Rodgers does, and he's been targeting Dobbs, and he actually has been pretty good at spreading the ball around, which I'm really um, not surprised about. But it's actually nice to see that he's spreading the ball where he needs to. Dobbs has been really a underrated guy that a lot of people have finally came and seen. I mean, a lot of people weren't really drafting him. So for me, it's great to see. What up, Antonio?
What up, Antonio?
Rodgers, I like in this. I mean, I think he'll do fine. I'm glad Bakhtiari is back, but they've been doing okay with their backup. Yeah, I like Dillon. I like Aaron Jones a little more, of course. I think Aaron Jones should do fine in this
About to
game.
say perfect time. Antonio's a big Jets fan, so I know he
Oh,
tuned in at the perfect time.
well,
And he says right here,
Brees Hall
Zach
should be
Wilson
real good.
will lead the Jets to victory. Then, oh gosh, then
Oh
bang Rodgers'
Lord.
moms.
No, he's going to go after Brady's wife before he goes after that.
Yeah, for sure. No, but yeah, I'm with you. I think since they egregiously underfed AJ Dillon in London last week, what was it, 6 or 7 carries? I think they need to bounce back, and they're gonna feed him, and he has a big week against the Jets.
I mean, I can only hope for
That's
that, but
the ideal situation.
unfortunately, I just feel it the other way. I mean, both teams are average against the run. I mean, and against the running back in general. They're both 16 and 15 respectively. And it's one of those things where I think that both teams are going to run the ball, set up the pass, all that. I think Carter and Brees Hall are good picks as well. Zach, I don't think I would start. I think that they have a really good secondary in
Yeah,
Green
no,
Bay.
yeah, and single
So
QB leagues
yeah, two
at least.
QB. I'm not starting him. One QB. I'm not. I think Elijah Moore has gotten to the point where you can only bench him. I think you can't get rid of him yet. Garrett Wilson, I think, is startable, but I think he's going to have a rough day today. Or tomorrow going against Jari Alexander. I mean, he's probably one of the best corners in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much fading that. I mean, they're
After a
actually
big
11th.
after a big loss to the Giants, I'm pretty sure they're coming to look to do their thing. But that's why I think it's intriguing because the Jets, they come and they play hard. So
Well, they're
and
going to be slinging the ball a little bit more than the Giants did, as we saw. I mean,
yeah,
the Giants are not. The Giants' identity has changed, which is fantastic, and I love seeing it. They are more of a run team, and they've been running the ball, and they don't really need the receivers to do that. I think the Jets are doing kind of the same thing, but I think they're a little bit better. Well, not better, but they're a little bit more pass heavy than they are, run heavy. And I think that will be a little bit of a. I think it will hurt them a little bit because, like I said, Green Bay is pretty good against the wide receiver. They're 11th so far this year, and and they've been having better competition, in my opinion. So it's one of those things where, yes, I agree with you. I'm taking the under on this game. Bless you. I'm taking the under
sorry
on
about
this
that. I meant
game.
to mute my mic.
No, you're good. And both teams are 3-2, so those are two really good teams.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
Yeah,
really
it's going
game
to be.
that's one in the trenches type of game.
Oh yeah, this is going to come down to the end. So.
But yeah, I think the big starts are the running backs in this game. I think Lazard and Dobbs play their part. It's hard to see what the receiving core in New York does. I'd be a little cautious about that, but the running backs are a full go. I even think if you're in need of an emergency play, Michael Carter's
I think Michael
um,
Carter's a great
a good
start.
a good play this week. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I really got to say about the Jets and the Packers. But maybe look in the chat here a little bit, see what we got going on.
Sure.
Start with, what do you guys think of Jamison Williams from Zachary?
So me and Ann actually had this conversation the other day. I'm not a
I'm
fan of him.
cautious. I'm just cautious.
I'm yeah.
I'll let people stash him while I'll see what happens, and if I like him, then I'll target him next year. Like
I'm fine.
it's not a rush. It's not a
No,
rush.
agreed. You can stash him. Enjoy. Put him in your IR if you have one. If you haven't already, put him in IR and see what happens.
Now in Dynasty, maybe I'm trying to chase a little bit because I want to have him while I see what's happening. So like I can see what I'm gonna do, because if it happens and I don't have him, then he's gonna cost more.
Y'all agreed.
So I'm trying to get him now in Dynasty, but in season long, don't even try to trade for him.
Oh, I agree.
Just just hold him.
Dynasty is a different animal. I mean, Dynasty,
Yeah.
you're definitely going for him. I think he could be something decent. But for me, I'm not touching him. I really don't want anything to do with him. I think he's a really decent talent. And I saw a lot of tape, and me and Ann had the conversation about it. And my biggest thing for him is, to me, he reminds me of who did I say he reminded me of? Who's the guy? Basically, all the highlight tapes that I saw of the guy, he's literally doing a 9 route. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see anything else. Like, he's fast as could be. ACL will slow him down a tad, but not too much. But all I saw him was on 9 routes, or on a post pattern, or on a corner
For
route, and just
for me, Jameson coming back should have Amon-Ra owners like salivating, because it's just gonna get him open more.
I
Because like
I completely agree. I think if anything,
so
it just helps Amon St. Brown, and Amon, I think, is the better choice in that
because
particular offense.
he's not what we thought he was gonna be. So like if you have him, then you struck gold.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I don't see where Jameis can do anything that anyone really want. Like, I don't see the appeal. Now I get that
But we
Jared
could be
Goff.
completely wrong.
Oh, completely.
He could be that dude, but like in season long, like I'm not trying to touch him.
Yeah. So Anthony's saying he's being comped to Justin Jefferson.
I'm the type, when rookie receivers, like I gotta see it before I go
All that too. I'm
search
always
for it.
been that way. I really just think it's like you said. I think it's more. It kind of opens things up for Amon than it does anything else.
Sup, fellas?
What's up, Brock?
Do I trade Brees for AJ Brown? I already got Mixon, Saquon, Ramondre, um, K Walk, and my wide receivers are lacking. Yeah, I do it.
I
I
wouldn't be
definitely
against
do it.
this. I'm on a. I like having a lot of good running backs that I can just keep away from everybody else. For me, a good offense is good defense. But at the same time, you're going to hate yourself every week because you're not going to know who's going to do that well and trying to set up your lineup. For me, yeah, I think that you ultimately have to do something like that. I would try to even instead of Brees, I might try to get rid of Walker, just because I think that Walker. I think Brees will have a better outcome at the end of the year. I think rest of the season, I think Brees Hall can have a better year than Walker, but that's just me. I understand there's not much in Seattle, so I get the hesitation to use him, but I do think I think that if anything, Walker you trade instead of Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall you should keep. He says, yeah, I got 2 flex spots so I can start up 4 running backs. Yeah. See, that's where the fun is.
Yes.
I have the exact same setup in my
Yeah,
league, and I
that's what
rather have running backs. Guaranteed a touch. You're guaranteed.
Yeah, I think I'd still do it, because it just depends who you have a wide receiver. If they're really that weak, then I'd probably still do it.
My whole thing is that even if you're bulky at the running back position, if you are that weak at wide receiver, you're just making your running back depth lighter to the point where if someone else on that grouping goes down, you're screwed, especially if you're using that many every week. Now, I do the same thing. I have 4 wide receivers and plenty of flex spots. And in one league, I'm in a point where I could get screwed myself doing that, and I don't really have wide receiver depth, but I've been trying to add to it. I don't mind that play at all. Like I said, I would definitely, if you're going to do that, I'd switch out Walker if you can. I think Walker is the better play, and I would do it after next week. Let him play this week against Arizona and go from there.
Zach agreed with us, and they Monroe going underneath when Jameson gets back. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Last question before we get into the next matchup, and then we'll get into everybody else's questions. Tim, running the channel, said, should I be looking to trade CMC now or wait to see who he gets traded to? Nah, I'm keeping CMC.
If you can get something good for him, trade him.
Yeah, if you can get the sun and the moon for him, I'd trade him. But I think he's just his floor's too good to move.
Yeah, right now his floor is pretty decent. I mean, if you can move him, you could probably get a lot in depth. Like if you are in a situation where if you are a little bit running back heavy and you need some wide receiver help and you need some like depth pieces just to kind of help you out, yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat because there's no point in keeping, CMC on your team, even if he doesn't get traded. I'm fine with it. Like I'd rather him, there's no guarantee that it actually works out wherever he goes. Like,
yeah,
there's too many rumors on where and how, and
you can go to a star-studded team and then get limited touches.
I'd rather not deal with the headache. I'd rather know where my guy is coming from and going. Like that's just my thing.
And then Brock said that he has Jacoby, D-Hop, DJ Moore, Mooney, Dobbs, and has Kelsey too. Then yeah, I'd probably keep Brees because if you have Kelsey, then you can just D-Hop's about to come back. You can just play D-Hop and another one of these guys, and then have.
Oh, so he's been playing Jacoby Myers, who's been hurt. He's playing DJ Moore, who's been underproducing. He has Mooney, who has been doing.
Mooney started to produce more.
Yeah, but not as much. And it doesn't matter. He gets PJ Walker next week, and then on top of that, he's got Romeo Dobbs. So I can understand the need for AJ Brown. So okay, well, like I said, I'm on board if you did it. I would prefer to use Walker. I think that you would have a better. I think you would feel better about it after the fact. So Kyle Flint, is JT worth trading at this point with the injury and the way the Colts look? Honestly, maybe. I have him in my league. I'm not getting rid of him. It's a dynasty league, so I can't get rid of him. The only thing they can do is upgrade their line.
If you can get a lot for him, I'd move off of him.
You can,
because it looks like something else is going to be more productive the season long.
It's based on what you can get for him.
He could for sure bounce back and have good games along the way.
So who do you think you can get for him, like running back wise? Like who's a guy that you would aim for if you?
I'd be trying to get somebody like,
because he's underproduced, so you're selling him low. Like
I'd be trying to get like, since Keenan's out again, I'd be trying to get like Pearson, then see if someone has Keenan and throw in Keenan in there too. But I realize someone in your league probably doesn't have Keenan. I'd be trying to get a 2-for-1, like.
Well, you're gonna have
a running back 2 and then a wide receiver that's startable.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, which running back would you want to try to aim for in this case? Like, I'm looking at my list and I'm trying to see who I would actually add to this.
I'd be trying to get like
Dalvin Cook.
I'd be trying to get like. It's a hard one, honestly.
Like, I feel like you would have to downgrade a lot. Like you would, and downgrading is not a horrible thing. They're still productive. They're playing, Joe Mixon. You're trying to get those guys that are currently in the RB10.
Maybe trying to swap for Derrick Henry if someone's trying to move off of him.
Actually, that just happened in our league. So yeah, I mean, someone like Derrick Henry, but maybe not this week. No, it wouldn't really matter this week because he's off on a bye and you're getting some of it. But I mean, yeah, Derrick Henry might be a choice.
Maybe like AJ Dillon and a receiver, or Damian Pearson, a receiver.
I was going to say Damian Pierce might be a good option with a high-end wide receiver too. Someone like Pittman.
Yeah.
Pittman was a good one. I'm trying to think. DK.
Someone's trying to throw like Mike Will.
Chase. I'd do Chase. Something like that. I would definitely do something like that if that was in the the cards.
There
So
you go, Kyle. We gave you some good insight right there on how to get off of JT, and that gives us a good segue into this weekend's matchup that JT is going to be out of,
mhm.
and Naheem Hines. So buckle up for Deion Jackson and the Philip Lindsay show this weekend against Jacksonville. But yeah, this seems to be a good old to me a trap game for Jacksonville when it comes to betting wise. They skunked them 24-0 last time, and they just had a close stinker with the Texans, and Indy's not going to let them skunk them again. And they're coming off of a pretty big win, so maybe the momentum carries.
Isn't
And
it
yeah, and
17? Aren't they 17-0 right now against Indy?
something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know, but
17, I'm pretty sure
Indy's
it's
favored by less. Indy's favored by less than a field goal.
eh.
Um, you looking at the backs or any pass catchers from Indy to be relevant this weekend?
Pass catchers in Indy. I mean, Pearson and Pittman are the only two that I trust. There's no one else I really trust in that offense. I think those are the only two that you can really start. Paris Campbell went away the dodo, which is upsetting because they had such a good preseason. Mo Ali Cox, you can't touch. I like him a lot. I like him as a player. I like him as just the personality, but unfortunately, there's not much you can really do, with Mo Ali Cox. The other side of the ball, I mean, Zay Jones is kind of the one that we're all looking to see what happens. If Zay Jones comes in and is questionable, and they're right now they're optimistic he plays. And they just said today that Marvin Jones is going to be out. He didn't make the flight. So one guy people should really take a look at, and more of a DFS play, but if you're in a deeper league like 14 team or 16 team, Jamal Agnew is a really, really nice
Really good play
pickup.
this weekend.
And I think he could be someone that could do well this week.
I even think Evan Ingram could be a good play with Marvin Jones being out this weekend, mainly since the Colts aren't really particularly. They're like
Well, Shaq's
right
also out
there in the
too.
middle of the pack. Yeah, and Shaq's out. They're middle of the pack right there against defending tight ends. So
Yeah.
with them being out, with him being out, it's like they're gonna have to almost try to get the ball to Evan Ingram because he runs routes on almost every play.
Oh yeah.
So why not try to get on the ball anyways in this? But are you looking at? We saw a little ETN resurgence last week. Are you looking at to carry over a little bit? Or are you looking it to be a James Robinson bounce back because he's been quiet the past 2
I
weeks?
mean, the numbers just keep going you keep seeing Travis Etienne going up and you keep seeing, James Robinson going down. And it's one of those things where we asked ourselves in the beginning, is it game script? Was it just the weather against, the Eagles? I don't know, man. It's getting to the point where you get to see his carry, per carry, yardage for someone like Travis Etienne. He's actually producing more than James Robinson, who's only getting the 1 or 2 yards per carry. And that's a big deal. And they are using him in the passing game, and they're using him a lot when they're behind. So for me, I think Etienne's unfortunate. I'm a big James Robinson fan, so this hurts. And I have both in one of my leagues, but for me, it feels like Etienne is slowly gaining the trust of the coaches, getting that whole, trust from the team. And I think it's gotten to the point where it might be a 50-50 split, and you see a little bit more of James Robinson as a goal line third down back, and you see Etienne as the opposite, as being a little bit more used and a little bit more, short yardage guy compared to Etienne. So I think you're going to be playing Etienne over Robinson. I'm doing it in my league. I think Trevor Lawrence is a decent play, even as a QB1. I think he can be a decent play this week.
I like it. I
Not
like it.
Matt
Yeah,
Ryan. Play
I'm
the
looking at.
Jags defense, though.
I can see this being one of those games that we don't expect to be a high scoring game, but is mainly because it has the atmosphere that it's a division game and both quarterbacks can sling it and one can
I
get a
think it will hit
lead
the
and
over.
one can get a lead and the other quarterback's trailing. So
Yeah, this
yeah,
can definitely hit the over with 41. Like, I
I'm
can
seeing this
definitely see
being
that.
being a quiet week this week, and
Oh
we're
my
gonna jump
God.
in.
Why do you guys ask questions that I have to make in my own leagues?
Wilson or Trevor Lawrence this week? I'm rolling with Russell Wilson mainly because I think he's gonna have a decent game against the Chargers this week.
I can't, man. I'm getting to the point where I am so done with Russell Wilson. I'm done.
This
The
is right
torn
here where
lat.
the point when we're done with him is when he's gonna have
You
the
would think
when he's
so,
on
right?
everybody's benches.
You
When
would
he's on
think so.
everybody's
And
benches.
another prime time game. I thought the exact same thing last week, where I'm like, oh no, the last week he was fine. He got 20 some odd points. He'll be good this week. I'm gonna go. I didn't play him, and I played I played Russell over Trevor Lawrence, and I was very upset. Um, Even though Trevor Lawrence only scored 2 points more. I think Trevor Lawrence can do well this week. I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence I'd play over Russell Wilson this week. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's like it. Both sides of the coin right there.
Yeah, I can't do it. I mean, right now I actually have Trevor Lawrence at 13 and Russell at 14. So,
Right there, the
and honestly, I would
high
move
end
up
QB2.
Trevor. I'm going to move up Trevor a little bit to 12.
QB1 status?
Yeah. Low QB1. I mean, I had to pick between, for me in my league, it was Aaron Rodgers or Trevor Lawrence, and I went with Aaron Rodgers.
We got
So,
the star-studded receiver matchup next. Tyreek, Jalen, JJ, Adam Thielen.
it would
Aging
be
Adam
if
Thielen at that.
it would be if Tua was playing.
Yeah, but Skylar Thompson behind center. Teddy's out with the concussion. Tua's out with the concussion. Mostert.
No. Teddy is off the injury report. He
Oh,
is the
Teddy's off the injury
backup.
report. He's the backup this week. Sorry.
No,
To
you're good. It's fine.
misinform you.
They just reported it today. He is off the injury report. He is clear concussion protocol, and he will be a backup. So for this situation, it's tough. I'm just gonna put myself out there with this particular scenario. The team is being overly cautious for a reason. They have to be. They fucked up. I'm sorry.
They messed
They
up,
did.
yeah.
And
They
I'm
did.
sorry. It is what it is. They screwed up. And they are trying to keep themselves
Make
in a
it look
good
like it's right.
exactly. You could definitely see if I can see Skylar Thompson by the half. If he doesn't do well, they're gonna switch out. Like it's just I can see that happening.
Yeah,
They're
because
gonna
they
just
need these wins because they had a strong start, so they need to stack these
yeah.
wins if they want any chance to.
And if you're playing, I mean, the biggest question I think a lot of people have is Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. What do you do? Like
Can't
training with
those
Tony
guys aren't
Clark.
really guys you can't sit. Yeah, these
Well,
have 5 points per 2 weeks, but I'm kind of looking at this to be another Justin Jefferson type of game because like
oh, if
last
you're
week
gonna
could
go
have
on that side, yeah, Justin Jefferson's good.
Je-
Go for it.
Jefferson could have had a game way bigger last week than it was, to be honest. I feel like they were really trying to feed on the ball. The coverage wasn't really that much better. It's just like they
Yeah,
kind of got away from it a little bit, and he had 130 yards in the first half.
yeah, and then he
So
literally did nothing for at least the third quarter, and then he
yeah,
had one catch in the fourth. I mean, he did well last week. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He'll do fine.
I'm with that, Kyle. I'm with it.
But Kyle, I'm right on board with that. You play Hill, you bench Waddle, and you have to. You can't get rid of the guy, but you can't play them. You know, he's in a situation that I'm not going to play with a second-rate, third string QB and hope that something happens. You know, Minnesota isn't the best against the pass, but at the same time, I'm not one of those people that are
But
willing to
it's also
try.
like who do they have throwing into them? They just have to tackle pretty good this game, and then they'll won't be that many big plays. But with with Tyreek Hill, it's kind of almost impossible. So I'm Tyreek Hill's a full go against any team, if you ask
You
me.
have to play him. I'm playing him in one league. I don't like it, but I'm playing him.
Play Deion Jackson or Kirk? I think I'm rolling with Kirk.
Kurt. Don't even have to think about that one. Don't understood that he had a crap week last week against the Texans. Texans are actually ninth best against the wide receiver. So let's be very clear. They're actually
Stingley's a
really good.
beast.
Who? Stingley?
Yes.
Yeah, he is. He's been shutting guys down. So honestly, I think Kirk is a good play this week. I think you'll be
Duvernay
fine.
over Waddle. I like it with Bateman out again.
Oh, for sure. I'm starting Duvernay in a couple leagues that I have him in.
So one thing I wanted to talk about was Mostert taking over this
Oh,
backfield,
don't even
and
get me
then
started.
on the other side, Joe Mixon getting fed but not really producing the numbers that we want to see. But we
Mixon?
like the vol. Yeah,
You mean
Mixon.
Delvin? You mean Dalvin Cook.
Oh, Dalvin Cook. Sorry.
Next game.
Last week. So, yeah, I'm already looking at the Cincinnati and New Orleans games because mainly because T Higgins is in my mind, and him not going is just driving me crazy. But anyways, Dalvin Cook last game he had a pretty efficient game, but like I'm looking at Mostert here, and I like this matchup. I think he has another good week.
I'm good with Mostert. Unfortunately, I mean, we saw the injury in the beginning of the week. On Wednesday, he didn't practice, and then he went limited, and then he went full on Friday. So that's a good progression. We're good. He's fine. He said he's going to play. We're not really worried too much about him playing or not. I think that it's a little odd that they've been doing it this particular way recently. I mean, they paid Edmonds to be there. They paid Mostert a lot less. So for me, I mean, you're playing Mostert, I think, without a problem. I mean, Minnesota is ranked 23rd against the run. So for, me, it's definitely, I don't mind playing him. I think this might be one of those games that Mostert gets like the 100 yards and Edmonds gets two touchdowns.
A couple touchdowns.
Yeah. So it's hard if you have Chase Edmonds. So he's one that I would probably avoid if possible, unless he's on your bench just waiting for Mostert to get hurt, which almost happened.
Hey, that's the situation I'm in. I have Mostert nowhere, but I have Edmonds lurking in the shadows, waiting for the inevitable to happen.
Yeah. So I mean, Thielen's a decent play too. I think he's a steady floor guy for a lot of people that need it. But yeah, and then Irv Smith he's so hard to predict, so I can't really tell you what to do with him and Gesicki.
That's a streaming play. That's a gut thing. That's a you thing. That's a personal thing.
I don't know how you can. I mean, they're low end. Well, if you want to put it in this case, they're high end tight end twos that you can throw in when there's a bye week. I mean, I think that Gesicki should do okay, but I mean, what's his face? Smythe. Smythe has been doing better than Gesicki. So
start rolling through these here. Get into Cincinnati and New Orleans. So as I was getting the names mixed up, the games
I like Kyle. I'm sorry. I saw Kyle's comment, and that's actually a good observation. And I didn't realize that Mostert took over after Tua went down, probably because he's a traditional running back. Edmonds will get more run. Yeah, actually, when Tua comes back,
makes sense.
I want to see that happen, because if that happens, then I'm a little bit more on board with Edmonds. But okay, I like that.
So as I was getting the names wrong before, I was mentioning T. Higgins. And then one of the things I wanted to ask you is we were getting into Alec Pierce before. So are you comfortable with, I mean, Higgins, he might suit up and he might be active, but he might play 10 snaps again like he did last week, or 15 snaps again. So that's what I'm saying. Are you comfortable with picking up a guy like Alec Pierce and plugging him in there? Yes. Or like McKenzie and plugging him in there over?
I would probably pick McKenzie over Pierce just because of the matchup and just what's going on over there. I would rather have Boyd out of all of them.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
especially with Lattimore being out, this has Jamar Chase written all over it to me. It's Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. The Bengals need a big game, and this has it written all over it to me.
Also, Marquise Lattimore is out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Marshawn, he's out. So it's a big game time for one of these receivers, for sure. It's just which one is it going to be? But are you looking for which running back are you leaning towards in this matchup to have a better game, Kamara or Mixon?
Ooh, I think Kamara will probably have the better game. But I think Mixon you're going to start Mixon regardless. Mixon is just a volume machine. They give him 24 carries, but he can't get anything, going with the line. I think with the injuries that they have, all over, I think the Saints are really beat up. I think that Mixon can do fairly well this week. I do think, actually, I like Mixon a little bit more. I think, where are they ranked? I mean, both are actually good against the run. So New Orleans is 8th, Cincinnati is 4th. So I like Mixon a little more because of the team, and they might be up. I think they're going to be up, or they might keep it. This is going to be a really fun game. I think it's going to be like last week, to be completely honest with you. I think it's going to be a Taysom Hill game again. I just,
that would be insane.
I
Mainly
don't
because
think
I
it's going to
bet
be
under on his
4.
rushing yards.
I don't think it's going to be 4 touchdowns, but I think it's going to be a lot of rushing. I think it's going to be one of those games where they're going to use him everywhere. You got Andy Dalton coming in again. You have Winston, Jameis Winston out with the back injury. You have 2 wide receivers down with Landry and Thomas out. So for me, I feel like they just brought up 3 wide receivers from the practice squad. One of them being Kevin White. If those who don't remember Kevin White, he was a first round
Chicago
draft pick
Bear.
from West Virginia. I mean, he's coming back this week. I mean, you got 3 guys coming in that are nobodies. You got Traquan Smith, who I don't
Makes
even
plays
know.
here and there.
Yeah, he'll make a catch here and there. Chris Olave is coming back from a concussion. I don't think he plays. I think it's a situation that you definitely got to keep an eye on. I think that a lot of the guys that are questionable are going to be, a lot of the guys that had concussions last week are very questionable to play this week. So,
Yeah, I feel like around the whole NFL, when concussions go around, they're going to be a lot more cautious. And you're going to see guys missing a week or 2
I think so too.
after it happens.
And that's kind of where I was going to go to. So,
And then
I like
Kyle
Kyle.
asked Mixon or Brees Hall this week.
I'd be dumb to tell you to start Brees Hall over Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I can't advocate for that either. I try to figure out a way to start both.
I have Brees Hall at 11. I have Joe Mixon at 9. So it's not like I hate Brees Hall that much. I can't not start Joe Mixon, if that makes any sense. You have to have a solid matchup to be you must have a ridiculously good roster to think play Mixon or Brees Hall, because if you have, if you can play both, I would, but it's really more based on your roster. So I like
Let's
better.
Let's get into Mike's team this weekend. One of the matchups I'm more intrigued by. Baltimore at New York Giants. Let me pull up the spread real quick because that actually interests me with this game. Baltimore's favored by 5.5, and there's a 45-point over and under for this game. So, I mean, before we get into the players, who do you have winning this game?
Well, I'm going to say the Giants. I'm just going to say the Giants, man.
You can say the Giants.
Okay. No, I'm going to say the Giants, and it's really just because I think that I think they've been real gritty, real just underdog blue collar group that has just been going through it. They beat, Green Bay last week. They put everything they had on the field, and they did good. That's why. So he has Mixon, Hall, Dalvin Cook, and Fournette. That's why you're having that conundrum. I don't blame you, because you want to start Fournette and you want to start Dalvin Cook. So I understand that. So it's really between the two. Okay.
Yeah, then I'd sit Brees.
Yeah, you go Brees Hall over Mixon?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'd sit Brees. I'd start Mixon.
Okay, so you're in the same thought process. Mixon, Cook, and Fournette, and leave out Brees Hall. Okay. Yeah, I'm in that. Trying to think who I would sit. Who is Fournette playing? Oh, Pittsburgh? Yeah, no, I'm playing Fournette this week. Cook, I would play against Miami. Yeah. I have all those guys ranked higher. I have Fournette at 6, Cook at 8, Joe Mixon at 9.
At least you can say Brees played a pretty good defense this week if he has a decent game.
Green Bay's decent against the run. They're not horrible. They didn't hold down Saquon, so it's not, like I said, it's not out of the ordinary to think that, but I just like those players more. I'm always gonna, like those guys a little bit more. Brees has a lot to prove. But yeah, back to the Ravens Giants game. Yeah, I do think the Giants have an opportunity to win this. I think their defense has been a little bit underrated. They've been doing real well. I think that Baltimore is in a scenario that they're kind of coming in a little bit, not like hobbled, but they're coming in with a few missing pieces that they don't have normally. They're using guys, so they're kind of like the Giants in a way. They don't really have many wide receivers to play with, and they rely on the run game. Their quarterback runs the ball. Both our teams are basically identical. Wick knows this team very well and has schemed against, Lamar Jackson in his, practices and stuff. So I do see this as a good game, on both sides of the ball. So I'm really excited to see what they do.
Yeah, there's a lack of receivers in this game. I'd say Devin Duvernay is the most exciting receiver. But we got Mark Andrews going. We got Dobbins. Lamar's always exciting. My question to you is Daniel Jones startable
Ooh.
in single QBs? Because I mean, the Baltimore's defense has been breakable, and if Dayball can scheme up something, then they can get some points on the board and
Um, I mean,
bottle up Saquon. They're gonna have to make something happen.
they have been. I mean, 30th against the QB. They've been facing some decent QBs lately. Um, I don't know if I'd put Daniel Jones in the QB1 conversation. I don't think he's there yet. I think he can run the ball.
Super flex, he would.
Super flex, I would. He has a solid floor with his rushing. He actually, I think, is more productive than Lamar in some category. I forgot what it was. But overall, he's been doing pretty well. So I can't say not to sit him, not to play him. But 2 QB league, I would feel a little bit more comfortable. I can't play him. I can't play him in single QB. I don't have that. I don't have the gumption to do it. I think he's been playing well, but not that well. I mean, if you're going to pick a wide receiver for the Giants, pick Darius Slayton.
Confidence level on Dobbins, will he get the work? I mean, I guess it just
Yeah.
depends on how. If the Ravens start this game with a fast start, then I feel like he will get the work. But I don't know.
Giants are 11th against run. They stopped and held Derrick Henry to 60 yards. I think they're going to do.
They're good against the run, so I think the Ravens have to have a lead for Dobbins to get the volume necessary to have a fantasy relevant type of game, unless he gets to the end zone.
Yeah,
like
I mean they could. I mean they could have that scenario where they literally.
Yeah, I don't want to be the one to say
Anthony. I'm not putting him in the same category, but he did have some stats last year that actually were better than Lamar, so I don't want to hear it.
We got a question that says
he was faster than Lamar, from what I was told.
Start Olave or Sutton?
Sutton without even thinking twice, because Olave is already questionable, and with them bringing up 3 wide receivers makes me think that they're not going to start him.
And the Bengals defense hasn't been anything to really sneeze at this season. They've been pretty good all around. It's just been on the rough end of the win column.
Yeah,
but you want to advocate? You want to advocate for any of your Giants receivers for panic?
Giants receivers, the only guy that I would start if you're in a bind is Darius. I don't think you can really trust anybody else. I think Bellinger is slowly getting a better role into the offense. I think they're slowly trying to get him in and do a little bit more. I don't think I would play him this week. It's just someone to keep an eye on or put on your bench if you're looking to. Hey, I'm just saying, man. He had some stats that were better. So, otherwise, yeah, I mean, in this game, it should be interesting. I think that you're starting Barkley without a problem. I think Dobbins, you have to play in some scenarios as a flex play. Duvernay could be a wide receiver 2 to 3 based on whatever team that you have. I think Richie James is a decent play. Darius Slayton, of course, I think is another good play. Other than that, you really can't start a lot of other guys other than Dave Jones for like a super flex or 2 QB league.
Chris said half PPR. J-Rob, Boyd, or Pickens this week, and would y'all trade JT and who for? I got offered Henry for him. Also, would you do Hurts and AJ Brown and Madison for Lamar and Devontae Adams? I have Andrew and he has Dalvin.
All right, so let's break this down real quick, sentence by sentence. A lot in there. So, Christy, thanks for giving the question.
J-Rob, Boyd, or Pickens this week? Boyd, we don't even need to talk about that. I think.
I'm gonna probably. I would pick Boyd over Pickens. It would probably go Boyd, Pickens, J-Rob if I had.
I know you're running back guys, so you'd probably it would haunt you to sit J-Rob.
See the thing with me with flex spots is I prefer the running back in most scenarios, especially in half PPR, and mostly because they're guaranteed a touch compared to someone like Boyd. Boyd could go for 100, and that's his game. But the problem, for me is I want to know that my guy is going to touch the ball at least 30% of the time. So I'm at the point where I'd rather have a guy like J-Rob, but for this game with Higgins, hurt, I think Boyd should do well. So I think Boyd, Pickens, J-Rob, and J-Rob's just been going down. I think he did well against Indy last time, but for me, it's one of those things that I'd rather not. Next question is, would you trade JT and for who and he got offered Henry. Also, would y'all? Okay, so Henry, I would do it for
Yeah,
definitely.
we talked about that earlier. We'd do that.
And then would you do Hurts, AJ Brown, and Matson for Lamar and Javante
Devontae
Adams?
Adams. I have Andrews and he
No,
has Dalvin.
no, I would not.
Yeah, I would stay on that. That's
I
trying to
would
move
stay
too
what you
much.
have. Well, it's not even too much. I think it's a fair trade overall. I just think that Hurts is a better option. Or sorry, I think Lamar and Andrews is a better combo than Hurts and AJ Brown.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Anthony throwing it out there. If you guys are new to the channel, please throw a sub. We're giving away a signed Gabe Davis jersey. We hit 600. Yes, sir. Not far away from that. You could be one of the ones that wins the signed Gabe Davis jersey. And then when you're at that, subscribe to the Checkdown podcast and to the Fantasy Frontline podcast.
Very good. And also
then,
make sure you guys check out the WAGMI website as well as their Twitter page, WAGMI with Colin. I mean, he does a newsletter every week, weekly newsletter. It's fantastic. So make sure you guys check out WAGMIFantasy.com as well as WAGMI. It's WAGMI Fantasy on Twitter as well. He does great articles, great posts, great everything. So make sure you guys check him out. He's really good as well.
to roll through these, we got the last 1 p.m., the last 12 o'clock game here. You got Tampa Bay.
Hold on. We just got to clear up. He's giving away Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would still stay on that because I don't know. I just trying to move too much.
No, that's me. I might do it actually then. I might do it for Lamar and Devontae Adams. I think that's not a bad trade.
Bit more, and this year, I just like Hurts a little bit more. Just trying not to throw off momentum of the team you already have.
Okay. No, I understand yours. I like Lamar and Andrews better. So for me, I like that combo, and I like I like Devontae Adams as well. So, I'm okay with that trade. For me, I'm good. AJ's not, and so you got half of what you want.
I mean, it's a good trade. It's just if you feel comfortable, pull the trigger. I just on Hurts right now, so I just personally wouldn't do it.
No, I don't mind Hurts. I mean, he scores 2 rushing touchdowns a game, it seems. So I completely understand that.
And then we're getting into what's probably going to be a lopsided victory in here in Tampa at Pittsburgh. All the receivers in Tampa seem like a full go besides Julio, if I'm not correct. And I know we're starting Godwin and Evans without a doubt, but how do you feel about Pickens and Deontay this week?
I still think you can play both of them. I think they're going to have a very different outcome, or I think they're going to not have the outcome that they've had the last few weeks. I know I have to double check again, but I think Mike Edwards, their safety is hurt, and I think they have one of their other wide receivers hurt as well, or cornerbacks hurt. So I think they're a little bit banged up in the secondary. I want to give you guys the right information. They have Murphy Bunting is going to be out, so that's a good thing. If you're looking to do that, they have Logan Paul out as well, or sorry, Logan
also
Ryan
from behind and get those garbage time points for these receivers. So yeah, I'm liking those two guys this week.
Yeah, Carlton Davis will be back, so that's okay. So for me, I don't mind Pickens or Deontay Johnson with Murphy Bunting out. I mean, that's a significant injury for that secondary. And Mike Edwards is listed as questionable. He's got a wrist elbow injury. I'm trying to see who else. Yeah, and then Shaq Barrett looks like he's going to be questionable as well. He was listed late, so they might not have their full defense on the field. So, yeah, I'd be okay with starting Deontay Johnson or Kenny Pickens. George Pickens. I think they're both good plays.
I think that's my question to you is what's your outlook on Najee this week?
Oh, you're not playing Najee. If you have an opportunity to not play Najee, don't do it. Like, just leave him out of your lineup.
A lot of people are stuck, so it's kind of like they don't really have a choice.
Exactly. If you're in a situation where you can get away with it, like this other, the other guys that we've just, went through their lineups and they had 5 top 10 top 10 running backs, then sit Najee out of the group. But if you can't, good luck and lower expectations.
Yeah. This guy asked start Isaiah McKenzie or Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Boyd.
I like McKenzie, but I'm rolling with Boyd. Boyd is a sneaky, consistent wide receiver. If he was on any other team, he'd be a wide receiver too. That's how I'm putting it. He'd be a wide receiver too anywhere else. Actually, he should be the lead guy, and he was the lead guy up till Chase came, and then Higgins was there as well. So for me, I like Boyd. He's consistent. He's on a good offense with passing. Same with Isaiah McKenzie. And I think that they're going to try to lock down Stephon Diggs and Gabe, but I think that Boyd is a better option.
Any last remarks on this Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh game?
This game is going to be annoying to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a stinker. It's going to be Brady dominating the hell out of them.
I don't know if it's going to be dominating.
He's due for a game. So
we'll see. It's definitely worth watching.
That could be a little lopsided here. We got Carolina, PJ Walker rolling in here, starting for the Panthers with Mayfield with that high ankle sprain. Akers is out as well. Henderson has got the role. It seems like it's going to be going forward since Akers' future's looking a little shady over there.
Yeah,
but
Henderson's taking that backfield this week, and he's going to run with it.
Before we started anything, would you advocate for my decision that everywhere that I had Allen Robinson, I dropped him and picked up Skowronek everywhere, mainly because he's been getting a couple times. He's been getting a good amount of targets here and there. So like the deeper leagues that I'm in, I've picked him up to replace Allen Robinson.
No. I understand how bad Allen Robinson's been playing, and I am really one of the people that
mainly because like you wouldn't think about it, but 5 games in, he has 46 fantasy points on the season. So that's about like at the Skowronek.
Okay.
So that's about at the 10-point mark, mainly because they've been down and they've been throwing the ball so much that he's been getting fed targets, and like Allen Robinson hasn't really been finding a way to get open yet. So in the deeper leagues,
I don't see, and that's my problem with the whole scenario that's going on in LA. I don't think it's a problem with Allen Robinson getting open.
I'm not saying he's more talented. It's just the scheme that they're running right now. It's like it's all the I call them the triplets, not because they're all white. I don't want to say that, but Higbee, Skowronek, and Cooper Kupp, they're like that's just the only 3 guys that he throws the football to.
So I had that scenario in my league. I have Allen Robinson and Skowronek, or I could get Skowronek if I want to. I absolutely agree with Kyle in the context that the O-line keeping Robinson down. I completely agree with that. They use him in a certain way that it clears out Cooper Kupp for them to go to Cooper Kupp. For me,
he can do a lot. That's why I like him too. That's why I like Skowronek.
I have him in a 3. I have him in a 3 wide receiver league, and I haven't dropped him. I'm actually playing him this week. Now, I'm playing him this week for 2 reasons. 1, I didn't like anybody on the waivers. I don't like Rondale Moore, and I didn't want to drop Rondale Moore for Allen Robinson because I don't like it. 2, I think that Allen Robinson, 1, he's on the all cardio team, as Matthew Betts likes to put it, in the context that he literally runs 99 routes and, doesn't get 1 target. So for me, he's running the routes. He's out there on the field. He hasn't been targeted yet. I think that they're starting to realize that, hey, Cooper Kupp is now hurt. So I think you need to not give him the ball so much. Why don't we scheme things to make it where you are making Cooper Kupp the guy, the dummy on the play? Like, let him be the guy that you are just like, oh, they're going to pass it to Kupp. Let's bring all the coverage that way and then pass it to fucking Allen Robinson on the other side. I do like Skowronek. I think he's been doing fine. I think he's actually a good piece. I think he's going to fade away with Van Jefferson coming back in the next week. So for me, I'm not really touching Skowronek until, we know more.
No, I'm just saying, I wasn't saying as like a long-term type of thing because Allen Robinson and a lot of leagues that I'm in, like people are just hate dropping him because he hasn't produced anything. So
I completely agree, and I'm in that
boat.
So
he's been floating around. So I just think that Skowronek's like a flashy play against Carolina because I can see him finding the end zone this weekend.
I don't hate that. I honestly don't. I really do think that it's actually a good play. Like I said, I was in between on doing it. I just couldn't pull the trigger. I have too much
Yeah,
trust in.
it's too scary, but it's scary to play with risk when you're playing
Ooh.
when you're
So
playing like
for
this.
Kyle makes a good point, and I like this. So Kyle, thank you for these points. I really appreciate it. He asked if Joe Horn is going to be out this week, and he is going to be out this week. So with Joe Horn being out, they have Thomas Oliver going to be out as well, and they have Deontay Johnson on
Yeah, this is going to be a
Jackson.
bounce back game for the Rams. They're going to come
I
in and stomp on them.
I don't know if it's going to be a bounce back. I'm not saying it's going to be a bounce back. I'm probably going to be picking Carolina, and it's just a cover. I don't think they're going to beat them by that much. I do think the defense and their pass rush is better than the Rams O line. So for me, I think that this is a game that Allen Robinson could come back and do actually pretty decent. If they learn their lesson, if they learn their lesson, I don't know if they did or not, but Carolina's 26th against the run. I think in this particular case that Darrell Henderson is going to be one of those things that he should do very well this week. I'm playing him everywhere in DFS. He's definitely a cheaper option because this all happened well before we started, so they didn't get a chance to
What's
the
going on,
lines.
Cody?
What up, Magos? Cody in the house. What's going on, Cody? But it's one of those things. I'm on board with Henderson this week. I'm on board with Allen Robinson for one last week. I'll probably grab him after this week. But I do like the Skoranek pick. I think he's a sneaky pick if looking to, a DFS low end pick.
And the only startable, before we get into the next game, the only startable Carolina player, CMC this week.
Yeah.
With PJ Walker behind center.
Yeah, I can't start anyone else.
We're getting into another sneaky game that
this game's going to be ridiculous.
Could be under, but I think this game has really the biggest range of outcomes than any other game this weekend, in my opinion. Gino Smith has been a lot more than we thought he was going to be. Kyler has his late game heroics have been enough in only 2 games this season, 1 game, and looking for Marquise Brown to have another huge game, but all aboard, Benjamin. We're riding him this week.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I had a friend of mine. To Mike Smith.
Facts, Cody. Facts. Skoranek. That's where it's at.
So a buddy of mine on my softball team, Mike Smith, good friend of mine. He told me before I left the game, he's like, a guy you should know for next week, and I'm just gonna give you a little insight. And he's like, play Kyle Murray this week. Now, I only mentioned this because last week he ends up putting up like 100 in our DFS. He put up like 180 points, putting in like one of the most ridiculous DFS lineups I've ever seen in my life. Had Gabe Davis and like Eckler and Cook, and he went off. Like his team just had a day, and he just tells me pick like this was Kyle Murray's week. So I'm just going to leave that out there for everybody to hear. I want that to be known. I think that
you want that good energy out there. I have Kyler Murray in a couple super flexes, so I want him to do good too.
I will say, we said in the beginning, Call of Duty just came out, and it's a whole thing, and there's numbers that show it, and it's a whole thing. At the end of the day, it's one of those things where you can look at that, run with that narrative, or you can look at what he's been doing recently, and he's actually been doing pretty well. Gino as well has been doing great. I think Gino and are both top 10 plays. I think they can definitely play well in this game. I think both defenses are beatable. You're definitely playing, without a problem. Benjamin is going to be
definitely playing these receivers in Seattle without a problem too.
Everybody. I think Lockett.
Yeah. This is if you have pieces in both of these teams, these are
play them all.
Go plug them. Don't even think about it. This is the potential to be high scoring in a shootout, and so does this next game we're talking about. We're not there yet. We're still in this one, but I'm just so excited for the next game that we're going to talk about.
No, move on because honestly, I mean, you're playing Kenneth Walker, you're playing Eno, and
you're playing. You're not. There's not really much to sit in this game.
Yeah,
I'm even if you're streaming, I'm thinking about playing Will Dissly in this game because he scored a touchdown in 3 out of 5 games this year. So
Will Dissly is one of my favorite pick'em prop. If you can go any day, like if you go and I'm gonna promote Underdog again. Underdog, if you go to their player props, every week he is always a 2.5 or 2 reception guy every time. I'm looking literally right now. Will Dissly 2 receptions Just always pick the over. Just pick that every week. I want someone to do that for me. I'm on board with this. I think that he is one of those players
Well,
that
yeah, but I
will
don't think we're
get.
talking about Marquise Goodwin around here.
No, he's not my time. Um, but in this case, I mean, Tyler Lockett's probably one of my favorite picks this week. I think he will be amazing this week.
I just need DK to have a good week, but we're jumping into the big guns. I think these are the best 3 games this weekend. Super excited. I feel like this is going to be some of the most best parts of the stream. So let's get into it. Let's get into Buffalo, Kansas City, the shootout. What should be Monday night or Sunday night football, but we got robbed. But anyways, I'm kind of with the same way with this Arizona and Seattle game. There's virtually no way that this turns out to be a defensive game. Josh Allen's just been too good. Kansas City's defense has been too bendable. And yeah, I think Josh Allen comes and puts on a show, and Mahomes has to keep up. And this has a lot of potential for a lot of points in every area.
Yeah, I mean, with the over under being 54, I mean, yeah, there's so many points to go around. I have a sneaky the way that these over unders have been happening makes me think this is going to be a really low scoring game because the defense is just knowing each other so well the last few years, like just going in the playoffs and knowing each other. So everyone's really high on this game and really, I think it's gonna be a great game. I just think that it's gonna be a little bit what's anticlimactic where we're all just like ready for it. But at the same time, it's just gonna like maybe poop the bed, but I hope not. I think both quarterbacks are just amazing, so this should be fun. Running backs for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, CEH. I mean, you've been seeing the usage where Jerick McKinnon is getting a little bit more play,
coming back down to earth a little bit, finally.
A little bit, but and last week, I mean, we saw it for the first 5 weeks. I mean, basically CEH or 4 weeks. CA and just been doing great, and then now just kind of going back down. McKinnon getting a little more runs, so that backfield I don't really want to touch. I do DH a little bit. I think they use him, enough in the passing game that they can definitely, he's usable. Everyone's
Hey,
big play.
Hey, and Singletary, we're going on the other side of the ball now, but Singletary gets
I
busy
love
against the Chiefs.
Singletary.
He I think he's a good start this week in a flex spot or a running back 2 spot if you're that needy.
I have him in a flex.
And yeah, I think that's a good play. And Anthony said last time they played, Gabe Davis went for 4 touchdowns, and I don't think he's gonna go for that again. But I see him going for 1. He's definitely, you can't keep him on your bench.
No.
And yeah, Tim and I said the same thing with the 54 over
right?
under.
It
probably going to be 13.
Feels like that. It just feels like that situation that they're going to have a great game. It's going to be one of those like, they're going to get stuffed at the one or a bunch of times or something like that. This game looks like it's going to be incredible, but at the end of the day, I think the points are going to be at a little bit on the lower side. I'm not saying that it can't be. I mean, last time, what was the score again? It was like 40-40. I mean, we can definitely see that happening. It's just one of those scenarios that
we just haven't had one of those games this year yet between 2 juggernaut teams where they go at it.
The juggernauts, no, but we saw it with the Detroit and Seattle game where they went out of this world.
I'm trying to see one of those games like the Rams and the Chiefs in Mexico City from a couple years ago.
Oh my god, I forgot about that one. But yeah, Devin Singletary, I do like this matchup. You're starting Diggs and Gabe Davis without a problem. I think
McKenzie
the wide receivers
too. I think is a good start in the flex. I think
he's
McKenzie when he starts. I think he scored a touchdown in every game except one, if I'm not correct.
No, I think you're right.
So they target him down low. It's not even that he's scoring on long touchdowns. It's when they get down to the red zone, he's quick, so they like him on those little screens or to take roundabouts. So I like opportunities for not even just the big names, for the Singletaries, the McKenzies, the MVSs type of people.
Who's the guy that you're looking for in the Kansas City backfield with Juju Smith, MVS, and Mecole Hardman? Who's the guy you like more?
I'm starting to lean towards MVS a little bit because Mahomes is starting to see that when he looks downfield, that's where MVS is, and that's where Mahomes likes to go is 15 yards or more. If Kelsey's not lower, then he's looking longer than Kelsey.
Yeah, I can unfortunately, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm still in between on all of it. I think Hardman should be getting more play, but they're not. Juju, I do like more as a player, but he's been putting. I mean, to me, MVS always reminds me of the drop. Like he had a touchdown that he dropped. Like he always has a scenario where I see him about to literally drop any ball that comes his way. So for me, I rather have a guy like Juju. He's been a little more consistent, but I'm a very big floor guy, I'm not a risk guy. So if you want to take that for what it's worth, MVS is definitely, that ceiling play.
So I get into this next matchup, the one that I'm excited for, my team going up against the undefeated Eagles with Cooper Rush behind center. Dak Prescott out another week while they want him to get a full week of practice under his belt before he takes any kind of action. But not really much I'm looking for on the Cowboys side of things. To like CD, you have to start because you invested so much in him. But other than that, I'm not really racing to start anybody on this Cowboys offense because this game is going to be, if the Eagles don't run away with it, then it's going to be in the trenches type of games. So I'm all aboard on the Eagles playmakers and being cautious with the Cowboys.
Okay. No, I like that. I mean, for me, I have to ask this question. What the hell was Jerry Jones thinking to think that Dak Prescott would be ready to play by week, what was it, 4 or 5 after he got the injury in like week 2?
I think it was a motivation tactic to like keep this team inspired for 4 weeks that like, hey, he's going to be back in 4 weeks. So play your damn asses off. So when he gets back, we're good.
I don't know how I feel about that because Jerry, keep doing what you're doing, man. If you're watching this, I know you're not, but it's okay. And I'm just going to keep telling you to keep doing the wonderful job you're doing out there in Dallas. But I just never understood it. You have an opportunity. The guy's been out for 4 weeks. Put him on your IR and get guys that you need in to fill in the spots that you need. I don't understand why not take advantage of a scenario that is out there for that reason. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that you did it because of that, I never agreed with how he handles scenarios. And I keep loving the fact that he runs a team the way that he does. I mean, they're 4-1, so I can't say much. But at the end of the day,
it's like he's oblivious to the outside world and all the criticism.
He's oblivious to his own organization. That's fun.
Yeah, that's oblivious to himself.
Yeah, I mean, right now the biggest question mark that was coming in was Micah Parsons. As long as he's good, he's fine. This kid's a baller. I'm upset that we didn't get him. And
could have been right there. Could have been yours too.
Don't even get me started. On him.
But right before we get into it, I just want to tell everybody in the chat, we're gonna get through these last 2 matchups, and then we're gonna get through all these last comments, and then we're gonna give the promos, plug everything up, and then get some last
wrap this
start
up.
And sit trade questions, whatever y'all got, and then we're gonna get up out of here. So
I'm fine with starting Lamb, and like you said, like AJ Brown.
I think if you're really desperate, then Gallup could be a sneaky play, but like that's it. Like I'm not really wanting to start Schultz or Pollard.
I don't want to really start anybody. I mean, honestly, I don't want to because the Eagles has shut down everybody, like literally everybody.
If Dak was playing, this would be all sells. Like I'd be open to playing all these people because that's where the bigger playability comes from.
If Dak was playing, I still wouldn't have played any of them because this Eagles defense is the shit.
Yeah, but their defense is it's not this good, but they're good the Eagles defense is good every year for the most part.
What up, Jersey Jay? What up, brother? Make sure you guys subscribe to the Frontline podcast if you haven't already. He already dropped the like. Love seeing it. Glad to see you here, Jersey. Always glad. Going out to Jersey in a few weeks, so I'll be out there.
Everybody that's watching, if you haven't subscribed to the Fantasy Frontline podcast, now partnered with the Get Right Fantasy Network, we're under these guys now, learning everything that we can, growing the pod, growing the subs,
growing everything.
Yeah, growing everything. So
awesome.
Maybe that's where most of you guys are from, or from them. So we're thankful.
No, we really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, for the Dallas Philly game, I mean, I like Dallas. I like both defenses in this. I would take the under on this game, and I would take Dallas as well, but it's more of a cover thing. I think that this game is a little bit tighter than people think. I think both defenses are actually pretty good. So for me, it's one of those scenarios where this is going to be a tough game. I think this is going to be a lot of, I think this is just going to be a really good defensive battle. I really do.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think you have to start Devontae Smith in this matchup too, and Goddard. These are just guys you can't sit with the way these offense has been playing. But yeah, that's all I really got for this matchup. I hope the Cowboys come out victorious, and we'll see the outcome Monday. I'm with you on the unders. I'm also on the under on both of these quarterbacks' passing yards, Hurts and Cooper Rush. I think this is going to be a good game for the skill positions, but not for Jalen Hurts on his passing yards at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
So we can get into our last matchup here before we get into our last questions before we hop up out of here. We got ridiculous on primetime again. I don't want to see it, but Justin Herbert's on the other side of the football, so that makes it a little bit better. But damn, that's 3 straight weeks of Broncos primetime game. And no, I think there's one in the middle, the Raiders game. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, gosh.
No, you're good. Right now,
I just need to see some points and like everything. Like it'll be fine. Like, but
play the Chargers defense. Yeah, just play the Chargers defense. You'll be okay.
Based off everything we see, Cortland Sutton
he's the real deal.
He's the guy that you need to be going with this weekend. If you have the guts to hold out on Gordon until Monday, Gordon's worth the flex.
Oh, play Gordon.
Like especially against his old team, and
I'm playing Gordon.
Yeah, Broncos defense ain't no joke.
I'm not playing.
Broncos
I'm not
defense isn't any joke either. So Palmer's a start this week for me. I think I see him having a better game than Mike Williams because these corners are no joke out there.
I agree.
In Denver. So there's going to be a lot of underneath stuff. Look for Gerald Everett in this game. But yeah, is there anybody else that you see?
I mean, this
having a good game.
This game, I mean, Melvin Gordon, I like. I'm not playing Russell. I'll play Herbert without a problem. Cortland Sutton, I'm definitely playing. Gerald Everett might be a good play, just from an underneath perspective in the concept that they're going to try to shut down Mike Williams and Joshua Palmer. So Gerald Everett might be a horrible play, even though he let people down last week. I don't see Keenan Allen playing this week. I don't see Keenan Allen playing.
He's doubtful, so I doubt that changes.
No, I'm not. Don't see that happening. I think that Gordon is a really good play this week. I think he's underrated in all scenarios. And Joshua Kelly is definitely someone you should keep on your bench. And especially if you're the Eckler owner. I think he's someone that you should be grabbing now if you haven't already.
So any last notes in this game?
No, there's not much. This game is pretty,
Yeah, this game is either going to be, to me, it's
either going to hit the over.
No, either the Broncos squeeze out a last-second defensive victory, or the Chargers Justin Herbert just puts on a show and they win. That's how it just goes either ways to me. But yeah, load up on. To me, the guys that don't really have that big of names, I'm trying to load up on this game because the Chargers aren't that good against the run. So Melvin Gordon's a little shaken up. So I'm even thinking about flexing Mike Boone if I'm panicking here and there.
I'm not.
I mean, last week against a stouter run defense, he barely got outscored by Melvin Gordon by like half a point. He was still like 13 points. So, I mean, he was getting the work. He gets the passes. So I'm just saying, like, for these people, there's some people out here in like 14-team leads, 16-team leads.
Tavius Murray is out there too, and he could take a roll over that too. So I'm not really Boone. I'm not touching Gordon. I'm fine.
And Boone's like he says down here. He said Team Boone. Maybe he's a Broncos fan, but he's starting to become a fan favorite.
No. Jersey J is a Giants fan, my friend. Big Giants fan. He's a big. He likes.
Sorry if I insulted you. I know
but
people
KJ,
get about their teams.
KJ Hamler is a good sleeper in that as well, as he mentioned there. So I like him too. He's hard to play for me because of the amount of usage he gets. So completely understand that. All right, so cool beans. So let's answer the question. We got
the first one here is from Ignatius. Is Jacoby or ETN PPR? I'm probably leaning towards Jacoby. I think he has a little bit of a higher floor, if you ask me, against Cleveland this weekend.
Yeah, I would lean that way too, but like I told you before, I'd rather much get the guy I know that's going to get a touch, or at least 60% of, or sorry, at least 40% of the, the run. And for me, that's
Split, yeah.
ETN. So for me, it's ETN.
All right, I like it. I like it. He said that's why your classic get right.
Well, because I like the floor play.
Yeah. Should I trade Henderson for J.K. Dobbins and Daniel Jones in a 2 QB league? Yeah, I'd do that. I'd do that. Is it a dynasty? Or is it?
I wouldn't. I would keep
I
Henderson.
mean,
I'd rather have Henderson.
it depends. If he doesn't have anybody as a second quarterback, then you kind of don't really.
Oh, well,
if
it's
you're
based on your.
pinned,
Yeah, it's really based on the scenario. But for me, I like Henderson more. I'd rather have Henderson.
said sup, bro. Stopping in to drop a like. We respect that.
Love it.
Must starts Eno, Brees Hall, Mostert. I'm
Yep.
with you. Get all those guys in your lineup this weekend. Even if you have multiple of these guys, then start both of them. Start all three.
I'll be there in 2 weeks. There, Jersey J. 2 weeks.
You riding with DK or Olave this week? Full PPR. Have to go DK, man.
I'm gonna have to go DK, and it's because Chris Olave is probably gonna be out. So
not even that. I'm just so excited with. Like, I might be let down big time, but I just really think that this matchup is going to be a high-scoring affair, and I think DK has – because Tyler Lockett's been taking all the shine off of what DK's been doing the past couple weeks. So I think DK's ready to step in and get a touchdown or two.
Yeah. No, I can see it. I mean, he's done well against them in the past.
Cody said a big get-right family.
Yeah.
And not to be hesitant to show the love over the guys at the check down either. Yeah, for sure. Make sure
you no, we shouted you out.
Too. Yeah, we shout out every type of plug that we got around here. Jersey J says Denver versus the Chargers. Call me crazy. I think this will be a high-scoring affair. Would be the first of Russell Wilson's career in a Broncos uniform. So I'd love to see it.
I would love to see it, but I don't see it. I think that it's going to be more
I would love to see it, but I don't see it.
I would love to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I just love the word. I just love the wording on that. I just love the wording.
It's one of those things, man, that it's just like we're all waiting for it, but we know it's not going to happen. I mean, it's probably going to happen because I'm not playing him this week. So it's one of those scenarios. He does better on my bench than he does in my lineup. So if you want to go down that route, go for it. But I honestly, I think this is going to be a little bit more one-sided, but it could put up, what is it, the 45? It's got to be 25 just to be happy. I don't know. I don't think it goes that high. I think it stays, just below that. Oh.
Yeah, I can see that. And then down here is just Team
all
Blue,
Jersey,
Giants all the way. Jacoby, yes, sir. It's a super flex. If it's a super flex, then I'd probably stay because you don't need to play a quarterback. Because, like, what if your guy just has a bye? I don't know your quarterback situation.
No, he's talking about what we were talking about before with the Henderson.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The Henderson thing. I'd probably just stick with Henderson because he's going to be more reliable.
Yeah, I like him more, way more, and it's not a crowded backfield. I like him more.
And while I plug everything up, since we got through with all these comments, I'm going to give everybody the last chance to drop their last start sit, trade questions, injury questions, matchup questions, any type, even dynasty trade questions if you got them. Give y'all a chance to type those up real quick while I plug up the Fantasy Frontline podcast. Y'all can follow us on YouTube. We're on the Get Right Fantasy Network, where y'all can find most of our live streams and most of our podcasts too. Y'all can find them there. Y'all can find them on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, along with mine and Tim's Twitter. See I know right there. FFT_AJ and FF.
Are they out? Reads. I don't even see them up on the thing. Are they up?
Are they on the overlay?
No, here? I don't think they. You have to drop the overlay or the banner.
Let's see.
Oh, I don't have the thing up. No, it's a setting in the general. I'll show you later.
Yeah, we'll see you later. But but yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to Mike and their team over there at the Get Right Fantasy Network. They're doing a Gabe Davis signed giveaway at 600 subscribers. So y'all could be one of the person that can get a Gabe Davis jersey just for clicking a red button. So let's help them out. Let's help us out. Let's help the Check Down podcast out. And yeah, you can plug up you can plug up y'all's Trophy Smack and Underdog one last time before we hop up out of
Yeah,
here.
so we've partnered up with Trophy Smack, so make sure you guys check them out and use the promo code Get Right. They will help you with a discount on checkout. They have everything from customizable rings, chains, trophies, belts. Make sure you guys check them out. They are a wonderful, wonderful website, wonderful group. So make sure you guys check them out. Also, make sure you guys use the promo code Get Right when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy. When you do that, they will make sure to match your deposit up to $100. So that's just free money you're playing with and using with them, with pick'em picks and other things as well. They have everything from not just football. They have hockey. They have playoff baseball. They have golf. They have everything. So make sure you guys check them out. They're a great group.
Yeah, we got a couple questions that
Yeah.
got in here while we were plugging up, and he said, "What is your opinion in going on with Akers?" I think he's going to get traded. Honestly, I think they're going to find a point where they're going to try to get what they can out of him because he was a shiny piece not that long ago. So I feel like he still has a little luster on him. So try to get what they can out of him, and I think they're just going to run with Henderson the rest of the year. And then Kyron Williams is not that far from coming back at the same time.
I agree. I think that right now, they're a little upset that they let go of Sony Michel. At the same time,
sure. That was a massive mistake. With the way Sony Michel operates is he's not your lead back until he comes in and becomes your lead back because your other backs were lacking.
So for me, it's one of those things that right now I'm aiming for Henderson anywhere I can. I would rather have Henderson over a lot of guys. So for me, I feel like it's a better option if you need it, because he will be the lead back and he will get volume without question. To answer Jersey's next question with Ronnie Rivers, I don't think I would. I think I would. I think I wouldn't touch anyone else right at the moment. So,
who should I stream this week? Jimmy G at Atlanta, Danny Dimes versus Baltimore, or Trevor Lawrence at Indy.
Wow, these are all like floor picks for me. But at the end of the day, I might start T-Law. I think Trevor Lawrence will have a good game against Indy. I think he'll be fine.
I'm actually leaning towards Jimmy G here. I can see him throwing a couple short touchdowns and getting those points off of how good his or even Kittle, his big target in the red zone. He got a touchdown last week, so hopefully he can build off of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim said subscribe to me and Tim at the Fantasy Frontline. Rasta, I'm sorry about that.
Ross is sending out all the links, so make sure you guys check out all these links. These are everybody. Make sure you guys are subscribing as well. Make sure you like the videos. I will be back here tomorrow. I will be back on my channel over on Sunday morning.
No game tomorrow, so you at least get to...
I get to sleep in,
yeah. You get to kick back.
The funny thing is, I always wake up at 9:30 anyway, so I'm good. So for me, it's a great morning where I don't have to worry about it. I can watch my, my post or my pre-shows that I always watch, and get everything kind of started. So I'm really, can't wait to do that. I will be back, like I said, on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. We'll start you guys early. Make sure that we get all the injury news that we can get through. Make sure that we talk about actives and inactives at 11:30. Do some DFS as well and some pick'em picks as well, some value picks that you guys can take advantage of. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow.
We got this last question in here, then we're hopping up out of here. We got Kenneth Walker or Deion Jackson tomorrow. Oh, that's Walker all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Kenneth Walker until the wheels fall off.
Yeah,
and he's
young, so
yeah. He also asked us. He also traded Tyreek for Jonathan Taylor. What are your thoughts? I don't hate that, but I don't.
I would have leaned towards Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, I would have kept Jonathan Taylor. Honestly, I'm not. I love Tyreek Hill, and I like having.
He traded away Tyreek for Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, traded away Tyreek for Jonathan Taylor. That's my bad.
I don't know how to feel about that. I do like Jonathan Taylor.
To me,
I think he's just the injuries. I think injuries on both sides, it kind of hurts.
And just mainly because like a month ago, somebody would be asking for Tyreek plus for Jonathan Taylor. So
yeah,
I'm all right with it.
Okay.
Everybody shouting us out, saying they got
Yeah,
great
thanks
takes.
THC. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for the like.
So that's it for us. Make sure y'all subscribe to everything we got up out here. Make sure y'all use the Get Right code at Trophy Smack and Underdog to get everything that y'all can out of that. And y'all have a good Saturday, and let's get ready for some football
Oh,
tomorrow.
wait, we got one more. Joker
We got
jumping
one
in at
more.
the last minute. I'll take it. I don't care. I like it. I always like answering these questions. So, should I trade Stevenson, Olave, and Mostert for Tyreek Hill? No. Leave
Or
it.
Stevenson and Olave for St. Brown.
No. Leave it. Oh,
Yeah, I'd leave
no.
it.
Leave it. Enjoy
Leave
what
it.
you have and run. Don't even listen to
Joker,
anybody.
thanks for topping in here at the last second.
Yes.
Got the honor of being the last person that we helped today. Y'all
Make
come
sure you
back
like and
next time.
subscribe, my friend. We'll be
Make sure
here.
y'all.
When are you guys back on?
We'll be back on. I'm hoping maybe we can get something running on Monday, but we'll have the next, the 10th episode of the Fantasy Frontline out by Tuesday. I want to say.
No. So they'll be back Tuesday. I'll be back here Sunday. So check us all out. Make sure you look up back at the chat if you haven't already. There's a bunch of links to all of our, affiliates and all the, the different podcasts that we support as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of them. They have all great content. And, we can't wait. The Check Down, WAGMI, Frontline, everybody has been doing fantastic. So you guys check them out, give them a sub, give them a like. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's why my Twitter's
Boys.
that's why my Twitter's there too. Don't be scared. Follow me on Twitter. Shoot me a DM anytime. I'll be happy to answer a start and sit question or any type of question that you have in general. And with that, we'll see y'all on the other side of this beautiful week of football. First week of buys are hitting and starting to get into the nitty gritty, boys. Let's get it. Peace, everybody.
Later.